What's going on? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, I Bankrupt joining all once again for another deck profile. Not just any deck profile, but Golden Cooler. And this is a deck that it's one of the I think 3 decks I kind of played the most so far from this past set, this current set, and absolutely enjoy it a lot. And another way of kind of getting back to making videos, I want to do deck profiles again, which I kind of want to talk about deck profiles in general in another video if I ever get a chance to do it. But we'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, like always, there's buttons, links down below if you like the content or enjoy the deck profile or have comments about it. Let me know down below and let's get into it. So on the front side of the leader, when it attacks, you draw 1 card, which is always great for a leader. Secondary effect of this card, activate main once per turn, discard 1 black card from your hand, look top 5 cards for your deck, add up to 1 Prison Planet card to your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. Great for searching the pieces you need. And yeah, that's just it. Like, possible if you go second, you're kind of getting 2 cards at your hand on turn 1. You do need to discard a card, but you kind of want to put cards in your drop for other effects. Awaken side in this leader is realize 4 or less, or if you have 2 or more energy and a Black Sea Unison, specific cost of 2 in play, draw 1 card, switch one of your energies to active mode, go down to 6, yada yada yada. On the Awaken side, you're now the Golden Cooler. The Awaken side, yeah, there's a cut there. I messed up. We're going to just kind of move on. There's no more drawing on attacks. Now it's when you play a Prison Planet card during your opponent's turn, you draw 1 card. It's a once per turn effect. And you're always going to get that out as long as you have the Unison in play, which we'll talk about that when we get to that card as well. But this card has 2 different activate means. The first one being you send 2 Prison Planet cards from your drop to your warp. Play up to 1 Prison Planet card with energy cost of 3 from your hand, and then it gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. That's pretty good. It's initially, as long as you're putting the cards in drop that you want to put in drop when you need to. This is just a free playing a 3 cost card, and those cards all have their own effects when being played or when their powers being increased, so we'll go over those as well. Secondary effect on this card is, once per turn, discard 1 Prison Planet card from your hand, draw 2 cards. So it allows you to get those cards you want in your drop to move into your warp, and also you get to draw more cards, getting better cards in your hand. Great. I mean, it's just fantastic mechanic, I think. All right, we're going to go into the Z deck because we want to talk about the Unison before we go into the Prison Planet cards, which I do play 4 of in this deck. You can go down to 3. I just play 4 because I just didn't know what else to put in there. And I'm sure there's other things you can put in your Z deck, but this is just what I did. It is Fu. He does gain the permanent, he does have the permanent where he gains Prison Planet in all areas. Auto, when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 Prison Planet card to your hand, then shuffle your deck afterwards, which is pretty nice. And if you added a card to your hand, you must also discard a card from your hand as well. It is cycling, but it allows you, like I said earlier, putting cards where they need to be, yada yada yada. This card only has an auto, which is a +1 marker, but it's if your leader's Prison Planet card and you send 2 Prison Planet cards from your drop to your warp, when your opponent attacks, you play up to 1 Prison Planet card with energy cost of 4 from your hand, and it gains blocker for your turn. Your opponent makes an attack, even if you negate, this auto will go off. Boom, you play a card, now it has blocker, another form of protection. You're good to go. This deck has a lot of ways of, in this case, building defensive plays here by playing cards, but also with other mechanics increasing power, which initially I think the most I've ever done is make my leader a 30k leader on my opponent's defensive or my opponent's turn, which is really great. The other cards we play in the Z deck are 2 of the Cumbers. They are kind of recovery plays for the Unison. It has blocker, it's a 15k. Auto, if your leader's Prison Planet card, when this card is removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill or KO, you play it to 1 Fu, scheme behind everything, with 1 marker on it from your Z deck. It just allows you to reestablish the Unison if for some reason it's not there anymore. Auto at the end of your turn, switch card active mode, which means you can attack with it. Don't worry about it being rest mode in your opponent's turn. Activate main if your leader's Prison Planet card, and you place 3 Prison Planet cards from your warp, the owner's drop, choose 1 of your cards, and it gains 5,000 power for the turn. You can give itself that effect, which is pretty nice. And then the rest of the things are kind of just filling the deck space up, Z deck up. 1 Z extra card, first Kamehameha. SS4 Goku, this is just a sneaky 1 energy, double strike 25k if you have all the stuff where they need to be. And then one of my favorites, always, Majin Buu. It eats your opponent's board up, and it's a 25k blocker, which is always good. Going into the main deck, now we're going to start with kind of like the main pieces you want to get into your drop, which are Trunkses. There are 2 different Trunkses. One draws you a card on play, one will search top 5 cards of your deck, add to 1 Prison Planet card to your hand, energy cost 4 or less, which is really great. They both have this auto though. When this card is sent from your drop to the owner's warp, by the skill of a Prison Planet card in any of your areas, remove this card from your warp from the game. Then you may send one Prison Planet card from your drop to the owner's warp. If you do, choose one of your cards and gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. And you can't activate the skills on Trunks' future cards in any of your areas for the turn. So pretty much, if you want to use this effect, you have 8 instances of it. But you cannot use both of them in the same turn. So you can use one during your turn, one during your opponent's turn, and so on. But you always need to move an additional Prison Planet card if you do that effect, which is really great. It's one, like I said, it's one of the ways that you can make a really strong card during your turn, or even just have a strong leader during your opponent's turn. Going into the 3-drops, we play 3 of the coolers, which on play, when this card's power is increased by a skill of a Prison Planet card in the area, look top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 Prison Planet card to your hand. I think we play enough to kind of see this. I have seen this whip before, and you can activate main from 1 energy if your leader is Prison Planet, and you have 2 or more energy. You can play this card from your hand for 1 energy, which is nice in case you use Delusion ability. So other ways of using it. That way you have things to do with your energy. These next couple cards, you can do whatever you want. There's a variety of them, and you could choose not to include them. But I have 3 of the Bojacks. When its powers increase, you place up 2 of your Prison Planet cards from your warp to the owner's drop, so it allows you to play more plays. So you're not seeing a lot of them. You get this guy on the board, you put cards back into your drop, which is really great. Active means the same thing. If you leader's Prison Planet, 2 more energy, play this for 1 energy. And the last 3-drop we play is Hatchiyak, just because when this card's powers increase, you can choose with one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less, send the owner's warp, and just kind of spot removal when I need it. There's other cards that do that as well, but it's my 3-cost choice. So that's the 1 and 3 drops for the deck. Going into now the 4 drops, we play 3 of the Majin. He just has revenge. Yes, when this card is played though, and your opponent sends 1 card from their hand to the warp, I don't really play this card ever. It's typically the first one that gets energy charge. Sometimes it's the first one that gets sideboard out if I have my sideboard on me. But it's there just in case. It's 20k blocker revenge. It makes your opponent choose when they want to attack, or what to attack with. When I have this card on the board, the turn it's played, obviously using the unison. Active meaning on the 4 drops. If your leader's Prison Planet card and you have 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand and place it with 2 of your Prison Planet cards from your warp to owner's drop. So it allows you to cycle cards that way instead, which is pretty cool. Next, we're going over the kind of the good one. It's cooler. When this card's played, place it with 2 of your black battle cards from your warp to the owner's drop. Then choose one of your black cards and it gets 5,000 power for the turn. If you play this card during your turn, obviously using the activate main here for 1 energy, great. It's a 30k on a swing. Or when you play it Fu, you give it to your leader, making your leader 20k. If you happen to use a Trunks to cycle as well, boom, Trunks effect goes off. You give that 5k to your leader, making your leader 20k. Sorry, 25k. So some good synergy there. The other 4-drop we play only 3 of, but it's Son Goku. This card, at the end of the battle, when this card, oh my gosh. At the end of the battle for this card, switch this card to active mode. So it's a dual attack on your turn. Or the turn it's played during your opponent's turn, it's a blocker that can block twice, which is really cool. And it's 20k. And then we play a little unison package. Sorry, not unison package. A little overrun package. It is SS4 and Vegeta. It's overrun 4. It's 20k on play. Draws you a card. When this card attacks, you can combo a card from your drop, which is really cool. Sorry, combo card from your warp, which is really cool. Allows you to kind of recuperate that Z energy. But we play these cards in combination also with the counterplay, which is great for our unison because unison specific cost of 2. It's a free counterplay with that unison. All the effects here are really interesting. You do need burst 2 for the effect, but we'll start from the very beginning. Counterplay. If your leader's black, play this card, then your leader gets plus 5,000 power per turn. That's how you get to the 30k during your opponent's turn. And from that point on, you're not worrying about your hand resource because your opponent has to then combo a lot of times heavier just to get those attacks in. But burst 2, when this card is played, draw 1 card, add 1 card from your hand to your Z energy, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy costs 5 or less, send it to owner's warp, bada bang, bada boo. And this mixed with the Overwhelm, mixed with the Goku, we obviously play 3 of the Vegito. It's just a really strong play. When you have the opportunity to do it, why not? It's 30k, it's double strike, it's barrier, it's blocker, it restands itself by doing a burst 2. Yeah, it's good. And then kind of touching up the last of the Prison Planet package, we have the 8-drop Golden Cooler. It's a 30k double strike, but what makes this card so good is that when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, send it to the owner's warp. Then until the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent can't attack with cards other than their leader unless they send one card from their hand to the warp each time. So if you feel like your opponent's going to if you feel like you don't have much to play during your turn, obviously you can pay the 3 to play this card using the Activate main, and then your opponent from that point on during their turn has to kind of choose how to attack, what to warp, and yada yada yada. It's kind of like a pseudo floodgate. You don't play a lot of floodgates in this deck because like the defensive capabilities in the deck naturally, the counterplay removes a card. We have the Vegito blocker. We have the leader possibly going up to 25, even to 30, depending on what your plays are. So like, this is the only kind of floodgate we have in this deck. I do play 2 set of battles. There are additional Prison Planet cards, so if I need to discard a Prison Planet card to draw 2, it's one way of doing it. But it's also a counterplay for 1 energy that pretty much just replicates the Unison, but it also gives barrier. So yeah, if your leader's Prison Planet card and you send 4 Prison Planet cards from your drop to your owner's warp, play up to 1 Prison Planet card, it gains from your hand. It gains barrier and blocker for the turn, and then yeah, this card has Prison Planet in all areas. Also, this card is an Activate main for the 0 cost of a 5,000 combo if you want to do that, which is kind of nice. The rest of the package is kind of just things I felt that were good to kind of fill the deck out. Obviously, super combos to do Vegeta. It's just there because it's good. Because we're discarding cards early on and bursting cards, this is just an additional negate in case I have no other option. We got the Gohan rare. What's great about this one though, also this one doesn't proc during the counter attack phase. So you go no negates, your opponent resolves autos, you go auto resolve, you resolve this auto, and it stops the attack, which is really nice. Our secret rare choice, Evil Saiyan. I mean, yeah, I think I saw some people trying to play the Golden Cooler one, but I like this one. This one's really good. I think it's really strong. It can possibly turn your opponent to 2 life to 1 life, and then you're taking cards, and then they have to be careful how they negate, because a lot of negates now are battle cards. So if they negate poorly, you gain that card instead, and then you're still winning the game probably. 3 petrifications because why not, and 2 support of the Dark Empire because they're great, rolling down 5 to 4, or even just kind of squeezing out an additional negate plus blocker. But yeah, that's the profile. Hope you all enjoy, and I do plan on doing more of these. So yeah, look forward to those. Thank you for tuning in.